So welcome everyone. I love that for this live talk, we have are gathering from all over the world, Australia, Greece, Rhode Island, I'm in California, Ohio, and everywhere. So happy Friday. We're gonna do a brief discussion now about the benefits of either shifting to vegetarian or vegan, plant-based, healthy yogic diet, and a short guided meditation to check in with our habits. The reason I'm saying healthy plant-based vegan or vegetarian yogic diet is because just if you're eating vegetarian or vegan and not eating meat doesn't necessarily mean we're eating healthy. We could still be eating a lot of sugars or processed foods, and we all tend to have habits that some of us need to shift. It's not an easy journey, breaking a lifetime of family or society eating habits that was told to us what was healthy, but we have to really now get smart about it, listen with compassion to our bodies, think about the animals. For yogic diet, it was also not harming or eating animals to benefit the mind for meditation, which is twofold. First off, if we're ingesting animals that didn't want to die, and no animal wants to die, just like we don't for food, for someone's meal, we wouldn't want to lose our life or give your children's life away to be slaughtered brutally for someone's meal. Same with the animals. So for the cruelty and compassion, they call non-violence ahimsa in yoga. For that, the yogis didn't want to eat the animals to be in harmony with not just humans, but the animals and the earth. And now they show it's actually one of the most sustainable things we could do is to stop raising animals for food. So we don't take the land and the water and the resources away from feeding humans. Instead, they're giving it to cows to make meat and steak, and it's very problematic. So we're benefiting the earthy animals, but the yogis also didn't want to be dull, tired in meditation, and to feel health, vital health for the body, and alert in meditation. Although a peaceful, calm mind, also wanted to be alert. The Ayurvedic term is sattvic, S-A-T-T-V-I-C, is pure, kind of even, pure for health and vitality. If we're eating a lot of not just animal products, but processed foods or sugar, well, let's just say like oils, fried food, dairy, cheeses, anything dead, chicken, fish, meat, that's tamas in Ayurveda. T-A-M-A-S is the quality of dulling. And it actually takes harder to digest a dead animal versus perhaps some healthy living plants, nutritious vegetables. So the dulling quality, the yogis didn't want. They also didn't want raja, the other element in Ayurveda, R-A-J-A-S. Raja is like too stimulating. So perhaps some sugars or caffeine or processed food can be too stimulating. So we want to start to be mindful what we're eating, not just for our health, our body health, whether you're trying to reduce symptom of an illness or condition in the body or prevent it. The number one diet they show to, or one of the number one diets to prevent heart disease and some cancers or many cancers is to stop eating the dairy and the animals. It's been proven again and again. So the health for the animal's sake, and then for the mind to be most peaceful. And it might be subconscious, but it's also chemical, because if you're ingesting dead animal, those animals didn't want to die. And if you had a knife, it sounds not so calm before a meditation, but if you were on a slaughter line held captive and watching your friends and family die, and then had a knife to slit your throat, and the cruel ways they kill animals, which is always cruel if you're getting your life taken away, then you produce adrenaline. So that literally the hormones, the adrenaline produced from the animals might be going into the human body if you're eating them. Not to mention the antibiotics they're feeding on the factory farms. And 99% of animals in USA, I know, are raised in factory farms. So I won't get into more graphics because I know I'm careful what I share on the graphic part, because here's the thing. As humans, we have to think, if we can't even hear the word, some of the word like slaughter or the gory, and it feels too graphic. We definitely don't want to see photos or videos. But I always think if we can't even look at the picture or think of the word or talk about it or think about it for 1 second, can we imagine what the animals are going through? So part of the reason that keeps me not only vegetarian, I've been, by the way, a lifelong vegetarian. So I've never eaten fish or chicken or meat in my life. Shifted 8 years ago to mostly vegan. got more and more vegan as I went along because there's so many great and easy substitutes now. But what I know sustains me, and the easiest way to keep that diet is to think of the animals and the baby animals. If we can't even think of these images that are graphic, then why would we want to support an industry or ingest animals that went through that and support that, right? So I think it was actually Johnny Depp had a famous quote. He said, the problem's not the images of the animals, or I'm rephrasing it, but he basically said the problem's not the image, the violent images of the animals, the problem's the violence we're doing to the animals. So it's just always to get out of just human perspective. Some people call it speciesism, where we're thinking only humans have the right to peace and freedom and harmony and not suffer, but animals have a right to live free too. But as I went over, there's so many other benefits. The health, better on the organs. I literally was teaching yoga the last 3 years for a heart disease reversal program from Dr. Ornish at a cardiology office. It's in about 40 hospitals in the US. That research proved many years ago that not only does eating vegetarian or vegan, cutting out the meat and most of the dairy or all the dairy, in conjunction they did with exercise and stress management or yoga, but not only can it, they showed prevent heart disease, but they were showing people who've had heart attacks can actually reverse it even. I definitely watched 3 years over about 10 cohorts of groups I've taught. I watched them wean off their diabetes and heart disease and blood pressure medications as they got better by cutting out the animals sources. So you got to still eat healthy, right? We want our nutrients, our live fresh foods, not just packaged vegan food, because that cannot be good for you also, even though some of it's delicious. But if you're trying to transition, maybe even to eat 1 day a week no meat and cut down and see how you feel, one way you can do it is by getting a plant-based vegan burger or these vegan fake meats. If that will help you not crave the meat, try a vegan burger that day. And even if it is processed and not the best to eat every single day, it's still better than the animal product with the cholesterol, right? So you can transition. I always say replace the unhealthy foods for the good. And that comes from an old yogic technique called Pratipaksha Bhavana. It's Yoga Sutras, I believe. It says, if you have a negative thought, how do we get rid of negative thinking? They say you have to replace it with the opposite. So not just to say, I'm not going to think negative. It's like when we meditate, instead of saying, I'm not going to think, I'm not going to think, you're all going to think about a whole bunch of stuff. Your thoughts might even get more intense. So instead, replace it with the opposite. Like in meditation, you can listen to the mantra, silent repetition, or watch breath. Replace that instead of your thoughts in past or future. So it's shifting focus. So if you want to eat healthier, more plant-based, vegan, or vegetarian, one way is substitute the not good stuff with good. Add more vegetables to fill you up. If you're craving junk foods and sugars and desserts, fresh fruit. I just had a delicious mango last night and blueberries. That totally hit my craving for not needing chocolate or processed. And the more you eat the healthy, the less you'll want the unhealthy. So we do want to do a few-minute guided mindful eating meditation, but I just want to check in. Julia had a comment, and I appreciate all your feedback here, and this is a Q&A and interactive chat. You said, do you know a natural way to counteract the gas from beans? Seems like my vegetarian recipes mainly have beans. Yes, I worked with nutritionists at the heart disease program, and we had some jokes going about that, but sometimes if you're also transitioning from a heavy processed food diet to more vegetarian and vegan, it might take time for the digestion to get used to it. But I'm going to always suggest on this, because I'm not a nutritionist, I'm 25 years teaching yoga and experientially, obviously, a vegetarian my whole life. It's a great resource for these studies, and all the nutrition information is nutritionfacts.org. It's a free site that lists every research study and all these questions. And I know last talk here, someone asked they can't eat beans. Some people can't digest them, or it's not comfortable. So you can also get, beans are great for your heart, but you can get other sources of protein as a vegan or vegetarian, right? Tempeh, you can garbanzo beans, hummus, quinoa, tastes like a grain, but as protein. There is some protein in dark greens and even some vegetables. Smoothies, vegan protein shakes, if you like that. It's probably better usually to get it fully from the food, but that can add on like 15 to 20 grams. So instead of me telling you exactly, it depends, like maybe you need it put in some other foods, or need to just give your body time. If you're coming off a more processed or meat diet, maybe the digestion can get used to it. Yes, soybeans, Amit says. So Julie, I don't know if I answered your question in detail. I'm going to try to not give too much of that science information, because I want Dr. Greger's site to give you it. He's a plant-based MD who will be very accurate, more than me. I read his books. It's called How Not to Die and How Not to Diet. So great. He goes over every vegetable and chronic illness and how what we eat can improve it, even more often than pharmaceuticals. But he explains how the pharmaceutical companies make profit, and often broccoli or lettuce producers and farmers don't make as much profit to advertise broccoli, since you can't always distinguish the brand in the food store. So because of that, it becomes the reason these research studies did not all get to the public is because he says there's no money in broccoli. Meaning, if a certain vegetable can decrease a side effect and you don't need a medication and has no side effect or a condition of an illness, you're better off, right? Not only no side effects, eating the vegetables and healthy plant-based foods, you'll get nutrients for the body, for energy. So I hope that kind of answered it. So let's just do a brief, like a 2-minute check-in mindful intention meditation for our eating goals, maybe just for this weekend or this week. Okay, so let's sit tall, wherever you are. Close your eyes. If you're in a cushion, cross the legs perhaps. If you're at your desk, feet on the ground, close the eyes. Feel free to roll the shoulders a few times. You can inhale, shrug, shoulders lift, exhale, drop. Inhale, shrug, exhale, drop. I teach office and chair yoga, so these are good too at your desk. And then with eyes closed, just take now slow, deep breaths in and out through the nose. Feel your body. Let's start with a check-in, a mindful body scan. Let's notice the stomach, since we're talking about eating. You can place your hand on the stomach or just feel it. Perhaps breathe into the stomach. Are you full? Are you hungry? Some of you here I know on this online are in Australia and Greece, some in USA. So did you eat? Time of day? Check in with your actual physical hunger level. And then the emotional hunger level. Sometimes we want food, but we're not hungry. So let's check in too on that. We sometimes stress eating or want energy from food, but maybe we can get it from breathing or meditation or tuning into our body or exercise. So check in, how's your hunger level, both physical and emotional, mental? Do you feel content, full, satiated, not sure, can't tell? Just no right or wrong, just check in. Try to relax your stomach if there's any tension. And then we're gonna shift awareness to the heart. So with eyes closed, take 3 slow, deep breaths. You can either visualize the physical heart or just imagine the heart area. Place the awareness in the heart. And I talked about heart health. Definitely not eating animal or dairy eliminates the external cholesterol, which keeps our arteries healthier. It doesn't clog our arteries. But let's also check in the heart for any intent, goals, intention you may have. Could just be for this weekend. See if you have any intentions for your eating habits. Maybe just start today or this weekend. Some of you might have an intention or goal for your next few months, or to lose weight, or to gain weight, or to reduce inflammation from a symptom. So just check in. Do you have any goals for your eating choices? Could be one meal, could be today, could be the weekend. Just bring it to your awareness, no judgments. Some of you, it's just eating the next meal more vegetables. For others, it's I'm gonna stop eating animals all year, improve my health. So whatever that is, bring it to awareness, and then you can place one hand over the heart, and then the other hand over it, or on the stomach, or one on stomach, one on chest, and just breathe into that intention. knowing that we don't have to be perfect. If we're try to be perfect and then you eat junk food or eat a hamburger and you wanted the veggie burger, some of us sabotage ourselves and say, I can't do it, it's too hard, and we give all the negative reasons why we can't. Instead, let's just honor ourselves for the intent and do our best. Know that every meal is a choice. If you didn't eat the way you wanted one meal, the next meal is another opportunity. But try to stick with meditation every day, because that will help you connect to your body. You can tune in like we did today to really feel your actual hunger level and any health goals you have, and just to reconnect every day. Maybe it's to cause less suffering for animals. It might not be for you, but then in the process, your health will benefit. I call this a mindful eating meditation. It's just a few minute check-in, mindfulness or intention setting, but it's called sankalpa in Sanskrit, an intent. But you can stay here now longer, maybe 30 minutes in silence. You don't have to think about your eating, just follow breath or mantra and then go into a nice silent meditation. So you can do this every day when you meditate, maybe before or after. If you're working on healthier eating or eating goals, you can check in with an intent every day, but your whole meditation doesn't have to be on that per se. It's just reconnecting to balance for the body and mind. And the word yoga means union, to create peace and harmony, not just with our own cells and body, but the earth and the animals and all living beings. We're all connected. And we're all connected here, even online. So I'm gonna end this brief. I do this every Friday and usually Mondays, about a 15-minute or so talk on yogic diet and a Q&A. If anyone has chat questions, you're welcome to put it in. And then I usually do 2 to 3 minute guided mindful eating meditation, but you can definitely stay longer. So I hope you enjoyed. We'll join our palms and namaste. Take a moment, send good intentions to each other and the animals and the earth if you like. From my heart to yours, namaste. I have guided 10-minute free meditations on here, nothing to do with eating, but for office and chair yoga and stress management and body scan meditations. You can view that anytime. And I hope you enjoy this talk. We eat 3 meals a day, sometimes more important than our meditation or exercise habits for health. They're all important, but eating's a big one. So stay connected. We do our best. Every day is an opportunity to do better.